Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you do it. I literally just gave you a treat. You're adopted, you know that. Ow, Fritz. I just got bit by a little dog. Anyways, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Habitual Linecrosser, and today we are doing something a little bit different. This is something that many of you have requested for quite some time, and it is HLC, how realistic are some main movies when it comes to air defense? And you know what? There's one that has been stuck in my mind, and I haven't seen the movie in years, and it's called Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson. Anyways, I think this is one of the only times that Owen Wilson ever had like a serious character. But before we get into that, a word from today's video sponsor. The sponsor for today's video is NordVPN. Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google, was quoted saying, "The internet is the first thing humanity built that we do not fully understand and the largest experiment in anarchy." Now, in a world of anarchy, the simple idea is get a gun, train with it, be good with it, because you want to protect yourself. But how do you do that in the cyberspace? Well, that is where NordVPN steps in. It's not just an antivirus. It is a next generation antivirus that constantly looks up any kind of interaction on your cell phone, your emails, your debit cards, your credit cards, your bank information, your social security number, your ID. If it is used anywhere out there in the world, NordVPN is there to let you know about it so that you can fix it and you're not a victim of fraud. Now, the United States has strict laws against these things, but other parts of the world just don't. And if the law is there, they're just not really enforced, which is why you get 13 phone calls a day from Michael from tech support. With one subscription, you get multiple tools. You have anti-scam, anti-phishing, anti-malware, anti-tracking, the scam and call filtering. This thing takes care of everything. You also have protection from just your everyday threats, early warning against attacks, and of course the dark web monitoring, which is wild. And it isn't just immediate now and we just forget about the past. No, I put in my information. Apparently someone got a hold of my email in 2018. I just decided to try it out today, and in a matter of, 2 hours, I have 134 block trackers and one ad that was blocked. This is insane. Right now, if you click the link in the description of this video, or you go to nordvpn.com/Linecrosser, you will get 4 free months of NordVPN, along with their 30-day money-back guarantee. Wow. So click the link, pick your plan, and you can sleep easy knowing that NordVPN has your back. Back to the show. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't done reaction videos in a very, very long time. I'm not really sure the rules. My editor, Finn, is going to try and keep all of us out of YouTube jail. And if this does well, then, suggest some other movies and I'll look into them and kind of see what I can break down for you. So I made a new overlay for this. It's a little bit smaller. I think I'm going to allow Finn to do some cuts to it. I don't know the rules there. So we're going to kind of jump around, and in oh man, that's hard to do. So in that little section right there, we'll go like that. Boom. Yeah. So in this little section right here, this is before the actual engagement. In this part of the movie, they are just a NATO aircraft. It's an American F-18 who is conducting surveillance, ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. Nowadays, we use drones for this. Your Predator drones, your Reaper drones, Global Hawks, things like that. Because realistically, they're disposable. I know, you're going to have those guys, well, my tax dollars shouldn't be getting shot down, blah, blah, blah. You know what's a lot better than getting shot down? Is losing tax dollars instead of losing pilots. I feel like every time, somebody complains about that, the next time we lose a service member, we should make that person go to their front door and say, hey, your son or daughter died because I didn't want to spend my tax dollars on a drone. That's kind of fucked up. But so here we have Behind Enemy Lines. We're going to skip around a little bit. It's like an 8-minute video. So we're just going to look at some pieces and parts. I do want to highlight this. So I haven't seen the whole thing. But here's what we have first. Oh, I need my headphones. I can't hear anything. So, taking image. Okay, first of all, right there. That aircraft is maybe 200-300 feet up. You're not doing reconnaissance that low to the ground. I'm sorry. Cameras and everything have gotten better over the years. Now, I understand this is an early 2000s movie, but even back then, you're not flying that low for reconnaissance. And this is for a couple of different reasons. Reason number one, obviously, you don't want the enemy to know that you're there. And if they don't have sensors in the area, they're really not going to know. If they're just looking up, they're not going to be able to tell. Secondly, you don't want to get that low because the ground is moving very fast at those speeds. So you're going to want to be high up so that way you can get enough pictures of it and images. And plus, this looks like it's in a mountainous area, which flying low is incredibly dangerous when it comes to the mountains. Now, there are certain suppression of enemy air defense tactics that would require this, but not so much for this point. Now, for the next little section, it bounces over to these, presumably Russian guys who are cleaning AKs and are calling things up. And the guy obviously identified that it was an F-18. Like anyone who's been in the military longer than a day, usually, especially if they work in air defense, can just from visual, it's called AFVID, Armed Forces Visual Identification. In the armor world, you actually have to pass a test. It was 50 vehicles. You were allowed to miss 1 NATO vehicle and 3 enemy vehicles. And some of these were just terrible thermal pictures that you just had to figure out, okay, it's got, 6 road wheels. It's got a spare tank on the back end. It's got a cast hull or a turret instead of a welded turret like an Abrams or a Leopard or any of the NATO tanks. So that's probably a T-72 or maybe a T-80. So those are the things that you have to take into account. So we're going to skip forward here a little bit. Okay, this next part is a little funny. He's calling out that he can hear them coming. No, you're not going to. So,
oh, absolutely.
And they're just, nonchalant being chill. So this is when we get our first look at the actual platform that is going to be shooting them. This is a Russian system. Hang on, I just got to remember. Is this a buck? Okay, so it's a little confusing, and it took me far longer than I care to admit, but if you actually check like online, it says that it was an SA-8, which is a Gopher, I think. I'm trying to remember it's 9K33 OSA. Problem is that is a wheeled vehicle, and what we see here in the movie is a tracked vehicle. So what I think they did, so it's got tracks. This up here, I don't know what's up with this. This is a little bit strange because you would have an operator sitting in there, and realistically, you don't in these air defense systems. That would be a line of sight air defense system, which is normally thermal guided. So it's Hollywood just mishmashes shit together. So the launcher is from an SA-8, which is arguably one of the ugliest air defense systems in the world, but it looks like the chassis is from an SA-6. Now, could Russia have done this at one point in time? Yes, they absolutely could have. We're going to skip forward a tiny smidgen. Okay. Guy just pulled out a outside controller, and there's some problems with this. So hang on, let's let it play a little bit, and I'm going to explain. Okay, this right here, in this nose, that appears to be an electric optical guidance thermal. So this would chase the heat signature of said aircraft. As for that little controller he had, you don't just magically, you're not even aiming at that point. There's no way for that controller. Let's go back to the controller. He pulls out he's got the key, and he's got a switch and a light here. Cool. You have no bearing range, altitude, speed, and heading. You have no idea of where the system is currently located. The system needs to know where it is to know where the target is. Like that whole, the missile knows where it is because it knows where it isn't. Sensors are literally like that, okay? So from this little thing, he's just basically turning a key and saying, shoot. There's no identify friend or foe here. There's no interrogation. I got it. You're still going to want to go through those things. There could be friendly assets flying in the air at that time, unless they have no air assets. So this is just wildly inaccurate. This is probably the worst representation of air defense that I've ever seen. And I haven't seen this movie since before I became an air defender. As for it popping open like that, that could be real. That could be Hollywood. I'm very unfamiliar with the system, but we'll continue. You got the F-18. Now, the master caution, this is more the aviation side. I'm not sure if the master caution actually flashes when you are engaged by a surface-to-air missile. As for this, the SAM light, I'm unfamiliar with how an RWR or radar warning receiver categorizes, especially in this version of this platform, air defense systems. Some of them don't know exactly which air defense system it comes from, but I do know modern day aircraft in the United States Navy and Air Force have a light that comes on when they are being tracked by Patriot. But there's a possibility that they could not even be aware at this point in time, because right now, the system has been told to engage. They have no idea what they're engaging. They have no idea which way they're engaging. They probably don't even have a target lock at this point in time. So how are you going to tell the missile where to go when you don't even know what you're looking at yet? Do you understand the problem that I have there? All right, let's continue. So the ground system has to be producing a laser beam or a beam of some kind, or a lethal beam or an interrogation beam. There's all sorts of different types of radiation beams that come off of a sensor to let aircraft in the area know. Now inside Patriot, we have a button. For those of you, I know it's a switch indicator. I know air defenders, but it's a button and it's called TVM spoof, not TBM. TBM is tactical ballistic missile. TVM, track via missile spoof. I have never hit this button, even in training. I'm scared to touch it. I've heard rumors of a lieutenant that hit it one time and almost went to prison. Basically, what that does in the Patriot side of the house is there's an aircraft coming in, and I've never ran into a situation where I would need this, and you can hit TVM spoof. And what it does is it blasts that target with a radiation beam that makes it think it has been engaged. Now, depending on how it reacts or what happens next is really what'll tell you about it. So when it comes to radars and looking out there in air defense, imagine going into a room, it's pitch black, and you have to figure out who is in there by the way they sound, the way they move around, and maybe what they smell like. That's more or less the battle of air defense, because there's tons of things flying through the air at any given time, and you're detecting a lot of it. So you have to figure out what it all is. So this guy, the guy with the big magical controller and the fucking Slavic squat fucking Adidas tracksuit, that's absolute bullshit. So let's continue.
What?
Okay, what we're looking at this point, again, chassis looks like an SA-6, maybe a BMP. Anyways, and then they put this SA-8 launcher up on top, because the SA-6 launcher, you can see the missiles on the outside. You can't see them in this one. They're inside canisters. Different systems do that for different reasons. Okay, Patriot is inside canisters. Hawk was not inside canisters. It really depends on what you need it for. When you have birds away, you have a missile in flight. Okay, this is really hard because when you look back, it shows like a radar dish in between the launchers or in between the canisters here, which makes it seem like it's radar guided, which has its own string of problems. But the tip of the missile itself appears to be thermal guided. Let me check on what the SA-8 actually is. Oh my God. It's so much worse than I thought. Okay, so the SA-8 NATO reporting name Gecko, it has several different sensors on board. You're missing those here because they're actually mounted up here in the front when the system is moving. It has an operational range of 500 kilometers, which makes it seem like, oh, it can shoot five. No, that's how far it can move around the battlefield, 500 kilometers. The detection radar, it has two different types of radar. One of them is for detection, and that is J-band. There's different bands of radars. You have L-band, C-band, X-band, J-band, H-band. There's so many fucking bands, okay? And then you have the targeting radar, which is a completely different band, which is H-band. Why would that be a problem? Why am I saying it's so much worse? Well, okay, because you have your launcher, your sensor, and well, technically both sensors on board one platform. This is the epitome of putting all your eggs in one basket. They maybe learned their lesson with the S300, S400. They have several different sensors that are all remote away from the launchers, so the launchers can be moved around the battlefield, which is also a good thing because when you take out a launcher, the system can still shoot. This is the key principle that Patriot uses. It's less mobile because you have several different pieces of equipment. However, it is a little bit more resilient to attack, because you have to destroy more pieces, or the key pieces like the radar, because you can have all the launchers and missiles you want. They take out your radar, it's pointless. So for the movie, it looks like it's a heat seeker, but in practice, the SA-8 is a track while scan radar. Well, actually, no, it's not. It's two different radars. Radars are limited strictly by the amount of power they can produce. Okay, now that may sound a little strange. Power is, the rest of your transmitters and stuff like that are relatively resilient. The amount of power you need to produce is strictly, can dictate how far you can see, how much you can see within that range, and how well you can acquire targets. Okay, and then of course you reduce filters, and we'll get all into that here in a minute. But we have birds away from this SA-6, SA-8 mashup, and it is apparently tracking said target. It's moving about the right speed. Okay. That part right there is a little strange because it says it's flashing SAM. And with that circle in that line in kind of air defense symbology, which is a real word in the military, that is, I can't remember if that's mixed mode or 25-25. But the circle with the line is a friend. That's what that symbol means. It means it's a friend. A missile screaming at you is not a friend. I could understand if it was a U with a line. This is all unclassified. You can look all this up. A U with a line, that's an unknown, thing coming at you. But usually if your system knows it's an inbound missile, it's going to classify it as a missile. But we'll continue. And look how big Owen Wilson's eyes are. Should have had your visor down, homie. It's not the plane. It's the pilot.
Scoop it now! Pull up! Get the nose moving! Roger!
Terrible idea. Terrible fucking idea. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. This might be an actual aviator tactic. Dated tactic and kind of a pointless tactic. Because pulling up, so you have a ground-based sensor blasting you with radiation beams that has detected you, has birds in flight. So what you would want to do is either A, notch the radar. I went over notching in another one. I'll just briefly cover it here, which is where you pull parallel. So that way you're no longer going away or going towards said target. And for a couple of seconds, it will actually lose you. Hard to do with ground-based air defense systems. A lot easier to do with air-based systems. And then you want to hit nap of the earth and use masked terrain. That is so hard for me to say. M-A-S-K-E-T. Oh, I don't spell in public. D. Masked terrain, which is where basically a radar is like a big flashlight blasting up into the sky. And if you duck down behind mountains, trees, buildings, anything that it can't see through, it's going to lose target acquisition. Now you have to do this at a certain amount of time because a radar guided missile will eventually go what is called pitbull. This is a very common tactic where the missile is in flight. The radar is telling the missile the target is here. And when that missile, depending on the system, depending on the range, there's a million variables, but eventually that radar system will let go of the missile and say, you got it. And the missile has an onboard seeker that will then track the target and it will guide itself in. So as long as you evade it before it goes pitbull, you're in a pretty good position. Okay. As long as you can break that view from the ground-based sensor. But pulling up is just giving them a better air picture of where you are. Now, in this, they're firing from behind, which you would get a target lock both in thermal guidance and you would get radar guidance. Although I will tell you, it's a really poor tactic to be firing from behind an aircraft because now you have two problems. One, it probably dropped ordnance and you're going to just meet your God very shortly. Or two, now your missile has to be faster than said aircraft, which in most cases they are because rockets just burn so quick and they go through so much fuel so fast. This aircraft actually has to maintain its amount of fuel to be able to do what it needs to do. So let's keep watching.
I see a single missile tracking on it.
Okay, pulled up, rolled left. I mean, could be an attempt at a radar notch, but you'd have to do a hard left. I've been pulling a lot of G's right now.
I don't see it. Call my turn. No, slice left. Hard.
Okay, they're trying to get visual representation. That, from the pictures I've seen, that does not look like an SA-8 interceptor. And it's kind of hard to see here, but I don't think that's the same optical warhead you see. Remember, if you're using thermal guidance, don't point your missile towards the sun because that is the thermal signature to end all thermal signatures. Which is why against man-pad systems that often use thermal guidance, the TAC approach is often with the sun at your back. Just one of the many tactics used by good militaries, not Russian ones. So missile's cruising. It's probably pulling Mach 3, Mach 4. Okay, so this missile's been going for a very long time. At least 10, 15 seconds, which sounds like not a lot until you realize that, I mean, it's covering a lot of distance that fast. So when the aircraft is doing its maneuvers, the missile, because the radar is targeting it, is just telling it to take the shortest route to try and intercept said target, no matter which way he goes. So going left and right and rolling and stuff like that is doing nothing. Also, haven't seen any chaff or flares. Hopefully they start dumping those soon. Okay, so right there, we have an overshot. This interceptor right here should know that it missed the shot. Also, you're in between mountains and canyons. They pulled up. Why are they in a mountain? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Okay, I thought this movie wasn't going to piss me off. I used to love this movie. I just haven't seen it in 18 years. Okay, so that missile had an overshoot. At this point, that missile should self-destruct and you should be engaging again if the target is within your engagement envelope, but this is Hollywood, so let's see what happens. Nope, missiles just do, I mean, that's about a 180-degree turn, at least from this POV. That's okay. All right, the SA-8 is the greatest air defense system with the most maneuverable missiles that the world has ever seen. Okay. Again, a second overshoot. So if the first one didn't count, the second one should count. I don't think they're going to do it, but they're not dumping chaff or flares. Now, each one has its own benefit, and as far as I'm aware, granted, didn't work in aviation. I worked in air defense. My job was to kill planes, not fly them. Okay? Well, and missiles mostly. So with this, I've never heard of a pilot dumping one and not the other. Could be a tactic, could be secret. I have no idea. If you're being tracked by a radar-guided missile system, especially one that is behind you, chaff is vitally important. If it's coming at you, chaff is fucking pointless. Okay? So you dump chaff, obviously plane going very fast, chaff dumping out and going in all directions. Okay? We'll talk about the chaff first, and we'll talk about flares. The chaff, what it's designed to do is it's little just strips of metal that are dumped out. And what it's designed to do is as that radar is tracking you, it's designed to create pretty much a cloud of radar reflecting material. So that way the ground-based system and or the seeker loses track of where you are. And they may think that, hey, you're still in that cloud of stuff and engage it right there, and then you're free to go. That's the thought process on chaff. They're not dropping chaff and or flares. Big problem there. Now, when it comes to flares are not simple. People think, oh, it's just flares. No. Every flare that the US military uses is designed to mimic the heat signature of the aircraft it is installed on. F-22s have different flares than F-16s, have different flares than F-15s. They are designed specifically to mimic the heat signature of the engines, which, if you have a heat seeker chasing you, the heat seeker will see just a little thing of heat, and your hope is that as that heat comes off, it decides to track the flare instead of the aircraft going in the opposite direction. This is usually paired with a couple of other different types of tactics and evasion maneuvers, so it's not just I'm going to push this button and fucking dip out. No. Okay, let's continue. Okay, we're back in a canyon. If you're in a canyon, that sensor cannot see you anymore. That missile should stop chasing you. That missile should, on most modern systems, self-destruct. Okay, I'm not kidding. This is public information. You can double check this on most air defense systems that are radar guided. When the radar loses connection with the interceptor, it's a safety protocol that the missile will self-destruct. Now, some of them go up and self-destruct, some of them just destruct in place. There's a lot of different variations, but as soon as that radar loses connection with that interceptor, the interceptor should self-destruct unless it has gone pitbull. Then it'll let go, it'll take over. We went over that previously. Okay, let's continue.
Golden Eagle Archangel, we have been engaged.
Roger. You want quantity two?
The longest. Okay, they're like, we have been engaged, and no one is telling them what to do. They're just like, oh, you've been engaged. I'm going to flip this little switch. That's a great idea. What does that switch do? This gives us no context. Flares! Finally, flares! Holy sweet baby Jesus, we got flares. After the missile tracking you has overshot you twice. Holy fuck. Russell Case from fucking Independence Day is a better pilot than both of these retards, okay? You got overshot by a missile twice that somehow is still fucking tracking you, and now you're like, you know what? Flares is a good fucking choice. You fucking mongoloids. Oh god, I don't know if I can keep doing this fucking series. Oh, nope, it ignored the flares. Well, it's because it's radar guided. Where's your chaff? You gonna drop that? Are we gonna see that next? Okay, let's see. Pulling up again for reasons I don't fully understand. Maybe they're trying to go lateral and radar notch. Let's see. We're just going left and right. We're not. I don't know if the creator of this movie knew, but the world is in 3 dimensions, especially aircraft. What are you doing, Fritz? Am I being too loud? Am I scaring you? I promise you're fine. Don't stare at the treats. You don't get any more. You're fat. I'm fat. I'm down 26 pounds, by the way. So let's just go left and right like we're in a fucking car instead of arguably one of the greatest fighter aircraft that the world has ever seen, the F-18. Also, homeboy's still wearing drop tanks. It's going to reduce your mobility. You should probably lose those. And maybe if you're lucky, the missile chasing you will track those as an aircraft and go after those instead because it's a fucking God's missile. Okay, tracking directly with said aircraft, that missile would have to slow down drastically because they're not doing these maneuvers at Mach 3 or Mach 4. I mean, the fucking aircraft isn't even capable of those speeds on paper. I don't know what the truth is. All I know is Uncle Sam always lies about our capabilities. Just if you read it, it's more, okay? Just assume that it's always more. Although it's much cheaper to go the Russian way. You just build garbage and tell everyone it's perfect. Much, much cheaper. Okay, so now the missile has slowed down to subsonic speeds for reasons I don't fully understand to try and just scare the living bejesus out of the pilot and the Wizzo. Okay, and now second missile in flight. Did he have a second box with a second key? Is that what we had? Because now you can kind of see it. You can kind of see that radar dish right there, which is not what the sensor looks like on those things. Not at all. It's actually a big pane right here, and then there's two side ones over here and over here. Fen, pull up a fucking SA-8. Because this is just, and oh man, he looks so scary. Look at his Adidas tracksuit and everything. Let's continue. Second missile in flight. First one that is the greatest missile. Again, friendly. Now, their symbology may be different, but that's a pretty well-known, yeah. Let's continue. 3 miles in closing. Did the first one just stop working? And he said 3 miles in closing. Pull up. Why? We got a second missile inbound. Let's give it the best air picture we possibly can of us. This is like idiots who love the Cobra maneuver, but F-22 can't Cobra, dude. Yeah. That's a pointless fucking maneuver. I could be chasing a Su-57 and he Cobras. Oh, that's cool, man. You just increase your radar cross-section exponentially while simultaneously bleeding off all your airspeed. Good job. Anyways, Fox 1. Who gives a actually, Fox 3. Sorry to be radar guided. Fox 3. Or switching to guns. Thup, 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 thup. Which is way slower than they actually shoot, but we'll continue.
I got him.
Yep, just keep them drop tanks on. Got to make sure you get those back. Don't want the taxpayers to lose any money. The first one is still tracking him, which has unlimited fuel at this point. It overshot him twice. It slowed down to subsonic speeds, and the second one managed to catch up while the first one still isn't there yet. Oh, they're pulling up again for reasons that don't make any fucking sense. Look at that. Look at that. If I was a radar right now, I would be creaming in my jeans. Look at the dude, I get returns off of these wings. I get returns off of this fucking fuselage. I get returns off of these, the whatever the hell they are, tail rudder thingies. Oh, I'm going to get so much shit from weapons for that one. I'd get returns off of this canopy. Yeah, let's do that. Yep, let's just pull up and give them the greatest shot in the world. Decoy? What decoy? They're talking about a decoy. What decoy? You've already dumped flares. Just didn't decide to dump chaff. And that pilot is locked in. I got to hand it to him for acting. He is locked in. Okay, we're still going. The world's longest missiles. Oh, what?
What the fuck is that?
Oh my God. I can't do this, guys. I don't know if I'll ever do one of these videos ever again. I can't do this. So number one, you have an F-18 at treetop level. Not unheard of, reasonable, but now you have interceptors chasing at treetop level. Unheard of. Would get lost in the trees. The radar can't tell it where the fuck to go because there's leaves and snow and dust and humidity and... Oh, I'm going to have a fucking stroke. I'm going to have a stroke. How far are we in? Oh, dear God. Well, the second one at least went over treetop. Oh, and they tell him, kill his engines and pull up. I think that's what he just said. I want to go back.
1 mile. Drop the fuel tank and pull up.
Oh, he said drop the fuel tanks and pull up. Better late than never, I suppose, but the pull up is still wild to me. Okay. But why did his engines shut down and go out of afterburner when he dropped his tanks? Oh man, that's Hollywood right there. Them tanks would be empty. Especially if you're sending one aircraft, which is fucking wild to me and goes against every tactic I know, behind enemy lines to conduct surveillance 200 feet off the ground against an SA-6/SA-8 fucking Frankenstein model and some jackass with a weird box that has a key wearing a tracksuit who has just infinite number of fuel on board these missiles. I hate this. I hate this so much. This is, Yeah, fireball! Yeah, let's just throw our fuel out and hope these missiles can't fly through. Guys, I'm going to get real with you. This may be the one and only that I do. I thought this was, oh my God, I thought this was a good movie.
Clear on top. Coming back down.
Flip upside down and come back down for reasons I don't understand. The missile is still near the ground. You are now debatably 1,000 feet in the air and you're like, let's go back down and play with them some more. Now that I've dropped my tanks, I don't have any fucking flares and these missiles never run out of fuel. Okay.
I got 2 missiles
Oh. So now they're heat seekers. Flares didn't do anything. Nope. But a big old drop tank fireball, as he does a backflip and tries to get in behind him, magically makes one of the missiles track into the fireball and explode. And it was the second missile, it looked like. Because I think the second missile was on the right and the first missile was on the left. So first one's still going. How many minutes? We're 5 minutes into this video. It fired probably 3 minutes in. It's a 2-minute burn time on a missile. Unheard of. Especially a short to medium range, that was a word, short to medium range air defense system like the SA-8. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's pull up again. Let's give him another good view. This is so. No joy. No joy. The words mean things. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what no joy is, but when you don't see a missile that is locked onto you and coming at you, no joy is not the call. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what it actually is, but it's not that. Yep, second missile. Look at that smoke trail all the way around a mountain. I don't even know where the sensor's at because this thing curved around here. The sensor's just like fucking Jesus take the wheel. Oh, and now it's making a screaming sound. Oh, it's a scary, scary missile.
He's back on us. Push over.
That is the tallest canopy I've ever seen. Those guys got a ton of room in there. Now he's pulling left for reasons I don't understand.
Here he comes. Head on right side.
Going nose at the missile. Not a tactic I would use. Probably not a tactic that anyone alive would use, but it is a tactic. Okay. Oh. He nicked you. Oh! What is even happening? What? How do you get nicked by a missile in a head-on collision? How? Science disagrees with you. I disagree with you. Considering, hold on, I want to check if it has a proximity warhead. So it has a 33-pound warhead, 15 kilos. Its detonation mechanism for all variants of missiles on the SA-8 is contact and proximity. Okay, so maybe this is a contact variant and it didn't detect the contact, which is fucking insane to me. Okay. It has an operational range of 15 kilometers and a flight altitude of 39,000 feet, which I'm not even going to look. I'm almost positive that an F-18 can fly higher than that. And then it is, its maximum speed is 1,000 meters a second, Mach 2.9. And it is radar frequency, line of sight. Okay. Yeah, I got winged by a missile, man. I fucking didn't make it, bro. Oh, I hate this. I hate this so much. Why did I do this to myself? Where did they got nicked on a wing and suddenly started losing engine? I don't know where all the pieces and parts are. They're losing speed. Did the missile turn around and start chasing them? Did Wile E. Coyote make this fucking missile?
He's coming back. Missile arcing right.
They lost part of a tail, and the missile does a 180 and keep coming. Until I see worse, this is the worst intercept movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Now that I've seen it as an air defender, it hurts me on an emotional level.
Emotional, damn it!
I got no turn left, Chris. Controller shot. No, straight.
He's got no turns left. Controls are shot. Very possible. Now we see kind of the heat seeker in there because somewhere out in this mountain range is an SA-8 that has a magical radar that can see through everything, along with this magical interceptor that has excessive amounts of fuel. And now it decided that it wants to go into his boost phase, which it has a 2-second boost and like a 15-second burn or something like that, or 50-second sustained. And now it's going to close the distance after nicking them in a head-on collision, flipping a 180 and chasing them for 5 minutes. Homie, if you built this air defense system, the Department of War, you would be able to just like jump into a pile of money like Scrooge fucking McDuck, okay? Oh, now we got the record scratch. Hey, it's me. I bet you're wondering how I got here. Oh, they're losing altitude. That's not really how a fragmentation warhead works. It like popped off the cap and like shot them with a shotgun shell. It really is a big explodey ball because any unburnt fuel, which is, I mean, God forbid they have any item or any fuel on board that interceptor, also burns off. So it does create kind of a fireball. And, you know, you have the best rocket motor and fuel economy in the world, but the warhead could use some work. The warhead's pretty shit, okay? After all that, you basically mobility kill the aircraft. Okay. Oh, no, they're leaking fuel. And the fire closes with them. At 500 fucking knots. I need a drink. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab me a Pellegrino. I'll be back. This isn't an advertisement, but I just got back. Also, there's sweat marks on my chair because I'm in shorts. But these zero sugar San Pellegrino pomegranate orange, oh, they're like crack cocaine, man. They're so good. They are so good. I only get to have one a day, but very, very good. I'm sorry, I didn't hit record on here when that. So they got closed, a fireball closed with them and blew up their aircraft. But so all these holes here from the shrapnel of the warhead, it's wild. Still have power when the whole rest of your aircraft is destroyed. Okay. Hold on. I want to see if I can find that frame. I need to find that frame. So, hold on. I'm almost there. Hold on. I got to find that frame. Hold on. Oh my God. Oh no. You're in the cockpit and you look back and the whole rest of your aircraft is just behind you. In one piece, mind you. Maybe two. But I don't know how many maintainers are going to watch this, but I feel like they're also going to have a stroke. And they're telling them to eject. Okay. So an eject doesn't happen that slowly. It isn't like a dramatic thing where you pull it and it's like thump, 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 and then it pops the canopy and it's instantaneous. Like within a matter of milliseconds, you pull that handle, bro, you're going at Mach fuck out of that cockpit. Very quick, fast, and in a hurry. And that's because it's designed to save you. Because if there's a missile incoming and you pull that handle and you're like, oh, it's going to take 5 seconds for this eject to happen. Thump, 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 thump. Almost canopy pop. Oh, that missile's closing fast. Oh, God, I hate this. Yep. I don't. Now all the circuitry is frying while it's blaring sounds because it obviously has power somehow. This looks like a hard drive that's just melting. That is the longest eject in human history. Okay, this guy, maybe reach down, homeboy. Oh, he got hit in the leg with some shrapnel. Fucking food for thought. That doesn't happen. And if it did, we would find a different contractor to make our ejector seats. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Coming down from fucking 1,000 feet in aircraft grade aluminum. Yeah, that cockpit would definitely be in one piece. I feel like whoever made this movie was just like, should we hire military advisors so that things look correctly? No. We're just going to send it. Yep. It was just going to flip and 600 miles an hour to stopped. With made in US, all the paint's still there. There's no dents, no dings. I don't know if you guys know this, but aircraft grade aluminum, most of it on this aircraft, you can cut through with your pocket knife. And I'm not exaggerating. That's a real thing. Case in point, Kandahar, Afghanistan, before I went into Malajat, we were about to ride on a Chinook and we had to get a little briefing about the Chinook. And they're like, okay, obviously the primary egress is going to be out the back hatch. In a case of an emergency, and let's say fire's blocking it or it's crushed and you can't get out that way, you can, they're like, there's an axe right here, or you can use like a Gerber or a pocket knife to cut through the side of the aircraft. And I was like, I have a question. There's angry goat people out here shooting at us. Shouldn't this thing be bulletproof? And they're like, no, it'd be too heavy. All right, good talk. Made in USA. I hate this. No chute deployed. Yeah, that tracks. Okay. Oh, do they have to manually deploy their chute? Oh, they have to manually deploy their chute, which, as far as I'm aware, isn't a fucking thing. Okay, because oftentimes you're experiencing so many G's, like a pilot in their career can eject, it's like 2 or 3 times. After that, they are permanently grounded. Aside from the cost of the aircraft, it compresses your spine because it's so violent. So making it so that pilots had to deploy their own parachute when they could be unconscious and or dead, bad design. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, chair just smashed right there. Those aren't the parachutes, as far as I'm aware. You get like T-10s or T-11s, which the Army uses, static line jumps. And those parachutes are not designed to, these guys are like, we're just going to glide on down. This is going to be nice. We can just take ourselves in. We can actually steer these things. No. T-10s and T-11s are like 15 feet per second drop rate. I'm not exaggerating. That's a real thing. I've never done airborne school. I would parachute. I would just never do airborne school because those fucking things are designed to get you from the plane to the ground as fast as possible without killing you. It is not a pleasant experience unless you're very, very light, of which I'm not. Yeah, man, let's just fly around out here. Oh, man, he's got his fucking tracksuit. All right, we're done with this. We're done. Well, that was an experience. I might have talked too much, but I was just trying to be as careful as I could, not showing too much of the movie at one time because I don't want to get in any kind of trouble. But I hope you guys like it. And honestly, it was very stressful for me. I don't know if I'll do this again. It was fun in some aspect, but oh God, it's so bad. It's so bad. If you guys like this and want to see more, maybe suggest some movies. I know Interceptor is going to be up there. I've never watched it. I was told it was terrible. Someone's like, oh, you should drink every time there's an inaccuracy in Interceptor. I would probably die of alcohol poisoning. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to support the channel, please go to habituallinecrosser.com. Get yourself some merch, maybe buy me a beer. You can check out our new shirt, Pop Goes the Russian, with a T-90M blowing the turret off of it. Russian, well, I don't know if you want to say Russians or Ukrainians are the turret toss champions for 2022 through 2026, but neither here nor there. Again, I love all you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Don't do the enemy any fucking favors. Watch out for one another. Take care of each other. All right? If someone needs to talk, listen as much as you can. My time is very short, but I still try and do that for a lot of my buddies, okay? I'll see you guys next time. Play me out.